Alright, team, so we're back, of course, talking about some remake. So today's video, hopefully, should be relatively short. I actually looked back on my videos that I've uploaded for a long time now. It's like every video has been super long. There was a time on my channel where videos were 4 to 6 minutes roughly. It seems like we're always doing 7, 8+ minute videos, and I don't even know when and why that happened. Maybe just talking to you guys. So it's revealed today that we're getting 2 Square Enix books later this year in English, which is awesome. Obviously, we talked about this before, but a lot of the Ultimanias, I think most of them are almost always in Japanese, especially when it comes to FF7. I don't really know about all the other Final Fantasies, obviously. I don't even know how many Ultimanias are out there. But it's nice to see that they seem to be drifting into producing more of this stuff, especially for FF7 and Remake, into English, because obviously that's their biggest Final Fantasy IP, right? It's by far the most popular Final Fantasy. So it makes sense to produce their stuff in English. So we got this tweet first today that says, "We are very pleased to announce that Final Fantasy VII Remake Traces of Two Pasts is coming in November 2022. This novel, in 2 parts, delves into the past of Aerith Gainsborough and Tifa Lockhart, the beloved heroines of Final Fantasy VII. And then is followed up with this tweet that says, "We're very pleased to announce that Final Fantasy VII Remake Material Ultimania Plus is coming in December 2022. The second Material Ultimania volume of the deluxe hardcover book packed with art, visual reference materials, staff commentary, and more." So actually I hadn't seen the second one there. I hadn't seen the Material Ultimania Plus was also getting an English version this year, because I obviously don't follow the Square Enix manga Twitter account. I just happened to see the Traces of Two Pasts book tweet, and I was like, okay, we're probably going to talk about that. And then I came across a Siliconera article that mentioned the Material Ultimania Plus, and that's how I learned about it. So obviously this is a good thing. It's nice that they're putting this stuff in English. My only complaint, if I have one here, is that, I've bitched about it before about them not coming out in English. If they're going to do it in English eventually, why not launch stuff worldwide in multiple languages? If they're going to do an English one, a Japanese one, I don't know if they're going to do any other languages. Why not just kind of delay the initial release so that everything can release worldwide? It's kind of weird to me. I don't understand. Because by the time Traces of Two Pasts comes out in November or end of this year, whichever one, I think it's November. Traces of Two Pasts is going to be a year and a half old. The books are old as shit, and we already have fully translated and shit at this point, right? It's nice that you can still buy it and own it and read it yourself, but we already know what's in it. It's also kind of annoying because they're kind of gouging their fan base, because people that are fans of Final Fantasy VII are going to buy these because we don't know if they're even going to come in English. They don't tell you that ahead of time. They just release the shit in Japanese. It gets translated for a long time, and then eventually, because the Material Ultimania, the initial one coming out in English, was kind of a surprise. We didn't know that was going to happen, and it just kind of released one day. They're like, hey, we're going to drop this in English some months from now. And it's happening here too, right? There's fans of Final Fantasy VII that probably bought Traces of Two Pasts, Material Ultimania Plus in Japanese, can't speak or read Japanese, and then now they're going to be almost compelled to buy the shit again so they can actually read the thing that they bought. And if you released it in Japanese and English initially, they'd only buy one of the thing, right? So it's kind of gouging the fan base, which I'm not a fan of. Obviously, that's also on the consumer. You're not forced to buy these things. But we didn't get the English version of the regular Material Ultimania until December, just a few months ago, right? And Traces of Two Pasts and Material Ultimania Plus and the Material Ultimania all came out a while back at this point. They've been out for quite a long time. Now going forward, we can obviously assume. So whenever Part 2 comes out, and Part 2 gets a Japanese Ultimania, you're not forced to buy that, because you know that more than likely at some point they're going to drop an English one. You can buy the Japanese one if you want to, but now we can kind of assume, with the track record they have so far, that shit's going to be transcribed into English eventually. And I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that like to have both versions, whether they can read Japanese or not, maybe just have 2 on the shelf that looks cool. For me, if I'm going to get one of these, it's going to be in English, right? Obviously, because I want to be able to read it and use it. As for whether or not I'm personally going to get any of these, I still haven't even got the Material Ultimania in English yet, my dudes. I've been planning to, just kind of haven't. It's not really on my radar too much, because a lot of the information that's in it's already out there, so I don't really need it. Traces of Two Pasts is a book, which I'm not really a book reader. It's just not my thing. It's not a hobby I've ever gotten into. But maybe the Material Ultimania Plus itself, I might get that. I don't know yet. We'll see. And I was actually about to wrap the video up there, but I actually just happened to glance at the damn Square Enix manga and books website page or whatever. They actually have release dates for this, which I thought was weird, because as we see with the tweets, they just mentioned the month, not the actual dates. But Traces of Two Pasts is coming out November 8th, and the Material Ultimania Plus is dropping December 13th. I suppose we should also throw the prices in here really quickly. If you want a hardcover version of Traces of Two Pasts, it'll be $25. You can get a digital version for $15. If you want a hardcover version of the Ultimania Plus, it'll be $40. If you want a digital version, it'll be $26. And as always, because I'm looking out for you guys, it's worth mentioning there are going to be digital versions, as we just looked for this. So you don't need to pay anything, because these will be online. Somebody will upload the PDF, I'm assuming is what it's going to be, on the internet for free. So you don't need to pay anything for these if you don't want to. But if you want to support Square Enix, that's up to you. Completely up to you. Anyways, my dudes, that's going to be the video. Pass off to you guys. What are your thoughts? Are you going to get these? Are you interested in these? I'm sure a lot of you are. Some of you probably, again, bought the Japanese version, so you're probably excited to actually have an English one that you can read. Are you getting both? Getting one? What are you doing? That's going to be the video, my dudes. Hopefully you enjoy. If you did, give a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys aren't. And we'll send more Final Fantasy VII Remake content. turn on my notifications, follow me on Twitter, @YT. I'm a Discord, links to social networks are in the description. And in the outro. Later, guys.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Logain, or leave it like Cobain.